Hello, everyone. There are days when the weight of the world feels heavy and the road before us appears too steep to climb. In those moments, we may find ourselves questioning, what is the secret to finding joy, to truly embracing happiness in a world full of chaos? The answer, my friends, is not a distant dream or a faraway destination. It is within you, always has been and always will be. The secret to being happy is not found in the fleeting things that we chase, wealth, status, approval, or perfection. No, happiness is found in the grace of being. It is the quiet courage of accepting who we are, the audacity to love ourselves in our imperfection, and the willingness to stand tall even when life tries to knock us down. Too often we measure our worth by external standards, how much we have, how much we achieve, or how others see us. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to strive for more, to chase after the next goal, the next achievement, the next milestone. We're taught to believe that our value lies in what we do, how we perform, or what we accumulate along the way. But the truth is far simpler and far more profound. You are enough, just as you are. Embracing your worth means understanding that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to chase validation or wait for approval or hold yourself to impossible standards. You are worthy not because of what you have done or how others perceive you, but simply because you exist. The power of this realization is transformative. It frees you from the weight of comparison, from the constant pressure to be something more than you are right now. When you begin to truly embrace your worth, you start to see yourself in a new light. You recognize your unique qualities, the things that make you who you are, and you understand that these qualities are enough. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness, peace, or fulfillment can only come once we have achieved something great, but in reality, these things start when we learn to accept ourselves fully as we are in this very moment. Imagine for a moment a world where we didn't measure ourselves by how much we had or how much we did. Imagine a world where we simply loved ourselves for who we are, flaws, imperfections, and all. What would it feel like to let go of the pressure to be perfect, to stop judging ourselves so harshly, and to instead embrace the beauty of our own humanity? The truth is, when we learn to accept ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, and to acknowledge our inherent worth, we create space for joy and peace to enter our lives. But embracing your worth is not always easy. Society, family, and even our own inner voices can make it hard to feel that we are enough. The voices of doubt, of fear, and of insecurity can be loud and persistent. They tell us that we need to be more, do more, have more. But deep within you, there is a voice that knows better, a voice that speaks from a place of truth, reminding you that you are deserving of love, of respect, and of kindness, no matter what. To embrace your worth is to let go of the lies and the myths that tell you that you need to be different, that you need to change who you are in order to be loved or accepted. It is to quiet the inner critic and replace it with affirmations of your own value. It's a practice, a commitment to show up for yourself every day with compassion, patience, and understanding. This acceptance doesn't mean complacency or settling for less than what you deserve. It means recognizing that you are already worthy of the very best this life has to offer. It means allowing yourself the freedom to dream big and to go after those dreams, but doing so from a place of self-respect and self-love. When you acknowledge your own worth, you begin to set boundaries that honor who you are. You stop tolerating things that diminish you, and you stop seeking external approval because you already know that you are enough. When you understand that your worth is inherent, untouchable by outside circumstances, you begin to approach life with a quiet confidence. You no longer need to seek validation from others because you have already validated yourself. And when you do this, the world begins to respond differently to you. You become magnetic, drawing people, opportunities, and experiences that reflect the love and respect you've begun to give yourself. The journey of embracing your worth is not a destination. It's a continual practice of remembering who you are at your core. It's a commitment to show up for yourself in the way you show up for those you love. It's about recognizing that you are deserving of the same kindness, compassion, and grace that you so freely give to others. And as you embrace your worth, you'll begin to see the beauty in every moment, the goodness in every experience, and the love that has always been there waiting for you to claim it. You'll understand that happiness doesn't come from having more, doing more, or being more. It comes from fully accepting yourself as you are and recognizing that in this moment, you are enough. You are more than enough. And the world is lucky to have you exactly as you are. Life is not always kind. It can be harsh, unforgiving, and at times it can feel as though the weight of the world is pressing down on us, leaving us breathless and uncertain. But in those moments of struggle, in the face of adversity, we find out who we truly are. Our strength is not measured by how smoothly we sail through life, but by how we rise when the storm hits. Resilience is the quiet power within us that refuses to break even when everything else seems to be falling apart. It is the ability to face life's challenges with grace, to stand tall even when the ground beneath us feels unstable, and to keep moving forward no matter how difficult the journey may seem. We all face setbacks. We all experience moments of doubt and fear, moments when it feels like the odds are stacked against us. But these moments do not define us. What defines us is our ability to rise from them, to keep going, to learn and grow from the pain. Every setback is not a signal of defeat, but an invitation to grow stronger, to build our resilience. It is in our moments of struggle that we develop the muscles of persistence, courage, and strength. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or pretending that the challenges we face don't affect us. It's not about denying our emotions or pushing our feelings aside. True resilience is about feeling the pain, acknowledging it, and then choosing to move forward regardless. It's about saying, yes, this is hard, but I will not let it define me. I will not allow this moment to control the rest of my life. It's the choice to keep going even when we don't know how we will make it through. When we rise with resilience, we begin to understand the power of perseverance. The road ahead may not be easy, and there may be days when we feel exhausted, when every step feels like a struggle. But it's in those very moments that we discover our truth. The resilience to keep going even when we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel is what sets us apart. It is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. We all have this ability within us. It's not something reserved for the few, the lucky, or the strong. It's a choice that anyone can make, regardless of the circumstances they face. As we build resilience, we begin to understand that life's challenges are not obstacles to be avoided, but opportunities to be embraced. Each challenge carries within it the seeds of transformation. Each hardship is a lesson, each failure a step forward in the journey of becoming who we are meant to be. It's through facing and overcoming adversity that we develop the courage to pursue our dreams, the wisdom to make better decisions, and the strength to become the best version of ourselves. Resilience does not come overnight. It's a process, a practice that we must commit to each day. It's about choosing to believe in ourselves, even when it feels like no one else does. It's about finding the strength to pick ourselves up time and time again after each fall. And most importantly, it's about knowing that every time we rise, we grow. We may not always win, but we will always learn and we will always grow stronger. When you embrace resilience, you begin to see life not as a series of obstacles, but as a series of opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to stretch, and to grow. You stop seeing failure as something to fear, but as something to learn from, because with each failure comes the wisdom and experience that moves us closer to our goals. Resilience is not just about surviving the storm. It's about dancing in the rain. It's about finding beauty in the struggle, peace in the chaos, and strength in the midst of hardship. It's about refusing to be a victim of circumstance and instead choosing to be the architect of your own future. Resilience is the light that shines brightest when the world feels darkest. It's the unwavering belief that no matter how hard life may get, you will not be defeated. So, when life challenges you, when it feels like everything is crumbling around you, remember that you are capable of more than you think. You have the power to rise, to rebuild, and to move forward. Resilience is the gift we give ourselves in the face of adversity. It is the assurance that no matter what happens, we will never be broken because we have the strength to rise again and again, no matter the circumstances. We often spend so much of our lives chasing after the next big thing, the next achievement, the next goal, the next level of success, that we forget to pause and appreciate where we are right now. We get caught up in the idea that happiness is something that will arrive once we've reached a particular destination, accomplished a certain feat, or acquired a certain thing. But the truth is, happiness isn't a distant dream or a far-off goal. It is woven into the very fabric of our journey. It's the moments we overlook, the small victories, and the quiet joys that often hold the key to our peace and contentment. The journey itself, with all its ups and downs, is where happiness resides. It's in the early morning light filtering through your window, the laughter shared with friends, the feeling of satisfaction after a hard day's work, or even the simple pleasure of a warm cup of coffee. These small moments are the building blocks of a fulfilling life, and they are often where true happiness can be found. When we stop rushing toward the future and learn to embrace the present, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of peace and gratitude. Finding joy in the journey is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. It's about learning to see the beauty in what is right in front of us, even if it doesn't fit the picture we had in mind. Life is full of imperfections, and that's exactly what makes it beautiful. Every day brings new experiences, new lessons, and new opportunities to appreciate the little things. Happiness doesn't come when everything is perfectly aligned. It comes when we choose to find joy in the ordinary, the messy, and the imperfect. It's easy to get distracted by the idea of an end goal. We think that we'll be happy when we get that promotion, when we buy that house, when we finally achieve the weight loss goal, or when we reach the top of the career ladder. But what happens when we get there? What happens when we accomplish those things? If we don't learn to enjoy the journey, we might find that the destination doesn't bring us the happiness we thought it would. We might discover that the thing we were chasing all along wasn't the real source of joy. True happiness comes when we let go of the need to always be moving towards something else and allow ourselves to simply exist in the moment. It's the freedom that comes with knowing that we don't have to constantly strive for more, that we can find contentment right here, right now. The journey teaches us that we don't need to have everything figured out in order to experience happiness. We don't need to have all the answers or all the pieces of the puzzle in place. What we need is to be present, to find meaning in what's happening right now, and to recognize the small moments that make life worth living. When we stop seeing happiness as a future event and start experiencing it in the present, we start to feel more connected to ourselves and to the world around us. We begin to appreciate the people in our lives, the opportunities we've been given, and the growth we've experienced along the way. Happiness becomes less about achieving and more about being grateful, being mindful, being aware of the beauty that surrounds us every day. This shift in perspective requires a change in mindset. It means moving away from the idea that happiness is something we have to chase, and instead realizing that it's something we can cultivate right where we are. It's a choice we make every day to find joy in the journey, no matter where we are or what we're going through. It's choosing to focus on the positives, to notice the blessings, and to be present with the people and experiences that matter most. Life's journey may not always be smooth, and there will be times when we face challenges that feel overwhelming. But even in those moments, happiness can still be found. It might come in the form of a quiet moment of reflection, a lesson learned, or the strength we discover within ourselves as we move through difficult times. It's in the way we rise after a fall, in the way we find light in the darkness, and in the way we keep going even when the road seems long. So, as you walk your path, remember that happiness is not a distant dream or a future goal. It's here, right now in the journey itself. Take time to notice the small things, to savor the present, and to appreciate how far you've come. The journey is the reward, and when you learn to find joy in the process, you'll realize that you've been happy all along. The true beauty of life lies in the moments you experience as you walk the road, not in the places you think you need to reach. Happiness is found in the journey, and that journey is yours to cherish. There is a voice within each of us, quiet yet powerful, that speaks the truth of who we are. It's the voice that knows our worth, that understands our potential, and that calls us to stand firm in our beliefs, even when the world around us may try to sway us. Yet, all too often, we ignore this inner voice, letting the noise of the world drown it out. We allow the opinions, expectations, and judgments of others to dictate our actions, and in doing so, we lose touch with the very essence of who we are. But when we learn to trust our own voice, We begin to reclaim our power, our confidence, and our path in life. Trusting your own voice means learning to listen to that inner guidance, that intuitive knowing that comes from within. It is the part of you that knows what's right for you, that recognizes what aligns with your values and your truth. It is the voice that whispers, "You are enough," when others try to tell you otherwise. It is the strength that comes from within, reminding you that you don't need to look outside yourself for validation or approval. Your truth is your own, and it's not something anyone else can define for you. We often fall into the trap of seeking approval from others, of shaping our actions and decisions based on what others think we should do. We let the opinions of family, friends, co-workers, and society at large influence the way we see ourselves and the choices we make. We're told to fit into molds, to conform to expectations, and to chase after things that might not even matter to us. But when we trust our own voice, we break free from these limits. We stop seeking external validation and start creating our own path. Trusting your voice is not about disregarding others or rejecting their input. It's about knowing when to listen to outside opinions and when to trust your own judgment. It's about having the courage to follow your instincts even when they lead you down a path that might not be understood or accepted by others. Trusting your voice is about knowing that your truth is valid no matter how different it may seem from them. This journey of self-trust is not always easy. It requires us to be vulnerable, to face our fears, and to make decisions that might not always be popular. It means being willing to stand alone, to face uncertainty, and to walk away from things or people that don't honor who we are. It requires the courage to say, "This is who I am, and I will not apologize for it." And in that act of standing firm in our truth, we find a sense of peace that comes from knowing we are living authentically. Trusting your voice also means embracing your imperfections. We live in a world that tells us we must be flawless, that we must have it all together, that we must meet certain standards of success and beauty. But the truth is that our imperfections are what make us human. They are what make us relatable, compassionate, and real. When we trust our own voice, we stop striving for perfection and start embracing our authenticity. We allow ourselves the freedom to make mistakes, to learn, and to grow. We understand that our worth does not come from being perfect, but from being true to ourselves, even when we stumble along the way. When we trust our own voice, we also recognize the power of our intuition. It is a quiet, subtle force that guides us, helping us make decisions that are aligned with our deepest desires and values. This intuition often knows the way long before our minds do. It's the feeling that tells us when something is right, when we're on the right path, or when it's time to change direction. Learning to trust this inner wisdom is one of the most empowering things we can do. It helps us navigate life with greater clarity and confidence, knowing that we are always guided by a force greater than ourselves. The more we trust our own voice, the more we start to believe in ourselves. We begin to realize that we don't need to rely on others for validation because we already have everything we need within us. This belief in ourselves is not about arrogance or pride. It's about confidence in our ability to navigate life with authenticity and purpose. It's about trusting that we have the strength, resilience, and wisdom to make decisions that are in alignment with who we truly are. And as we trust our voice, we begin to inspire others to do the same. When we stand in our truth, we give others permission to do the same. Our authenticity becomes a beacon for those around us, encouraging them to listen to their own inner guidance and trust their own paths. The more we honor our own truth, the more we create a world where everyone feels empowered to do the same. So, trust your voice. Trust the quiet whispers of your heart, the gentle pull of your intuition, and the strength that comes from living authentically. Your voice is powerful, it is worthy, and it is enough. When you learn to trust it, you unlock the door to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true happiness. Every moment in life carries a lesson, whether we are aware of it or not. Yet, it is easy to view challenges and failures as roadblocks that stand in the way of our dreams, when in reality, they are the very stepping stones that lead us toward our true potential. Success and failure are not opposing forces. They are two sides of the same coin, both integral parts of the journey toward becoming who we are meant to be. Each experience, whether triumphant or disappointing, teaches us something invaluable about ourselves and the world around us. We often view failure as something to avoid, something to be ashamed of or discouraged by. But what if we changed our perspective? What if we saw failure not as a defeat, but as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve? Every time we fail, we gain new insights, new skills, and a deeper understanding of our own resilience. Failure is not the end of the road, but merely a detour, a chance to adjust our course, refine our approach, and try again with more wisdom than before. It is through failure that we develop the perseverance and strength necessary to achieve lasting success. Without failure, there would be no growth. Without mistakes, we would never truly understand how to succeed. Success, on the other hand, is not just the outcome of our efforts, but the lessons we learn along the way. It is easy to measure success by the tangible results we achieve, the promotion, the awards, the recognition, but true success is more than just external validation. Success is found in the way we navigate the ups and downs of life, in the way we persist through adversity, and in the way we evolve and adapt to life's challenges. It is found in the small victories, the quiet moments of progress, and the growth that occurs beneath the surface. Real success is not about getting everything right all the time. It is about the courage to keep going, even when things don't turn out as planned. When we approach life with this mindset, we begin to see that both success and failure are essential to our journey. They are not isolated events, but part of a continuous process of learning and evolving. Each success, no matter how big or small, is built on the foundation of the lessons we've learned from our failures. Similarly, each failure teaches us something valuable that ultimately paves the way for future success. One does not exist without the other, and each is just as important as the other in shaping the person we are becoming. It's important to remember that success is not a linear path. We are taught from a young age that there is a certain formula for achieving success. Study hard, work hard, and follow the steps laid out by society. But the truth is that success is often messy and unpredictable. It does not always follow a straight line, and the road to achievement is rarely without detours and roadblocks. There will be times when things don't go according to plan, when the results fall short of expectations, or when we are faced with setbacks that seem impossible to overcome. But in those moments, we have the choice to either give up or keep going, the choice to continue moving forward, to adapt, and to find new ways to pursue our goals is what makes all the difference. When we begin to see success and failure as interconnected, we stop fearing the latter. We stop seeing failure as something to avoid at all costs, and instead we begin to see it as an inevitable and necessary part of the process. We understand that failure does not diminish our worth, it enhances our growth, it provides us with the tools, the insights, and the experiences that we need to eventually succeed. Each time we fail, we become better equipped to handle the next challenge, more resourceful in finding solutions, and more capable of achieving the success we desire. Success and failure are not about being perfect, nor are they about comparing ourselves to others. Everyone's journey is unique, and each person's path to success looks different. The key is to focus on your own growth, to measure your success not by external benchmarks, but by the progress you make along the way. Celebrate the small victories, the lessons learned, and the courage it takes to keep moving forward despite the challenges. It is through this mindset that we find true fulfillment, not in the achievement of a singular goal, but in the continuous process of becoming the person we are meant to be. So, when you face setbacks, remember that they are not the end. They are part of the story, part of the process that will ultimately lead you to where you are meant to go. When you experience success, take a moment to reflect on the lessons you've learned and the resilience you've built. And through it all, remember that both success and failure are necessary ingredients for a life well lived. Together, they shape us into the people we are meant to become, and they offer the wisdom and strength we need to continue moving forward on our journey. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way, sometimes all at once. It can feel as though we are constantly navigating a series of obstacles, each one harder than the last, and the weight of it all can feel overwhelming. Yet, it is during these times when things seem the toughest that we are presented with an opportunity, the chance to show up for ourselves and others in ways we never thought possible. Strength doesn't come from avoiding hardships. It comes from how we rise in the face of adversity. It comes from our willingness to face what feels impossible and find the courage to move through it. We often underestimate our own resilience. We look at challenges and assume they will break us, but the truth is, we are much stronger than we realize. Every difficult moment we face is an opportunity to discover new depths of strength within us. When we push through our fears and doubts, when we refuse to back down in the face of hardship, we reveal the untapped power that lies within. And in that moment, we become more than we were before. Strength is not about being immune to difficulty. It is about how we rise to meet it. This strength often emerges not in grand gestures, but in small, consistent actions. It's in the decision to keep going when it feels like all is lost. It's in choosing to stand tall when you feel like you can't stand at all. It's in the quiet moments of perseverance when no one is watching, when the world doesn't acknowledge your struggle, but you continue moving forward anyway. It's in the courage to take that next step, even when you can't see the way ahead. These moments, though they may seem insignificant at the time, are what define us. They are the foundation of our inner strength, and each one builds upon the last, creating a well of resilience that we can tap into when we need it most. We also find strength in our vulnerability. Society often teaches us that strength is synonymous with being tough, stoic, and invulnerable. We're told to keep our emotions in check, to avoid showing weakness, and to push through challenges without letting them get to us. But true strength is not about suppressing our feelings or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. True strength lies in our ability to be vulnerable, to acknowledge our struggles, and to ask for help when we need it. It is in allowing ourselves to feel the pain, the fear, and the uncertainty, and yet still choosing to move forward despite those feelings. Vulnerability does not make us weak. It makes us human. It allows us to connect with others, to share our experiences, and to find support in times of need. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to healing and growth. It's in being honest with ourselves and others about our challenges that we begin to understand that we are not alone in our struggles. We all face hardships. And when we show our true selves, we create space for others to do the same. In this shared vulnerability, we find strength, not only in ourselves, but in each other. Another important aspect of strength is the ability to adapt. Life is full of change, and the unexpected often becomes the norm. Things don't always go as planned, and the path we thought we were walking may suddenly take a different direction. But strength lies not in resisting change, but in embracing it. It's in our ability to adapt, to pivot, and to find new ways to move forward when the old ways no longer serve us. Adaptability is not about giving up or resigning ourselves to defeat. It's about being flexible, about learning to flow with life's natural rhythms rather than fighting against them. The ability to embrace change is one of the greatest strengths we can develop because it allows us to thrive in uncertainty, to find new opportunities even in the face of adversity. True strength also requires patience. We live in a world that often values instant results, quick fixes, and immediate gratification. But real strength is built over time. It is the product of consistent effort, perseverance, and a willingness to keep going even when progress feels slow. Strength is not about rushing to the finish line. It is about trusting the process and believing that each small step is leading you to something greater. It's the patience to know that healing, growth, and success all take time. The more we embrace this patience, the more resilient we become, understanding that even in the toughest moments, we are making progress. And of course, strength is also found in self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we face challenges, to feel as though we're not strong enough or capable enough to handle what life has thrown our way. But being kind to ourselves in times of difficulty is just as important as being strong. It's in giving ourselves permission to rest, to take breaks, and to acknowledge that we don't always have to be at our best. Strength is not about pushing ourselves to the brink of exhaustion. It is about knowing when to give ourselves grace, to recharge, and to come back stronger. In the end, strength is not a singular trait that we either have or don't have. It is something that we build over time. It is developed through the choices we make, the way we respond to life's challenges, and the way we show up for ourselves and others. It's about being persistent, adaptable, vulnerable, patient, and compassionate. The more we cultivate these qualities, the stronger we become. Life will continue to test us, but each challenge is an opportunity to grow in strength, to deepen our resilience, and to become the person we are meant to be. Strength, in its truest form, is not just about surviving, it's about thriving through life's trials with grace and courage. There is an undeniable power in the present moment. Too often, we find ourselves dwelling on the past, replaying old mistakes, or worrying about the future, imagining all the things that could go wrong. This constant cycle of regret and fear robs us of the beauty and peace that the present offers. Yet the present moment is all we truly have. It is in this very moment that we are alive, that we have the opportunity to make choices, to experience joy, and to create the life we desire. Learning to live fully in the present requires us to break free from the grip of past regrets and future anxieties. It means shifting our focus from what was and what might be to what is. When we allow ourselves to be present, we open up to the richness of life that is constantly unfolding around us. We begin to see the beauty in the small things, a sunrise, a shared laugh, the warmth of a hug. These are the moments that truly matter, and yet we often overlook them as we rush through our days, caught up in our thoughts about what has already happened or what is yet to come. Being present doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future. It doesn't mean disregarding our responsibilities or forgetting our goals. It means finding a balance, acknowledging the past, planning for the future, but not allowing either to dominate our experience of the present. The past is a part of us. It has shaped who we are, but it is not where we live anymore. Similarly, the future is a realm of possibility, but it has yet to arrive. The only moment we can truly influence is the one we are in right now. When we choose to focus on the present, we begin to notice how much more we have to be grateful for. Gratitude becomes a natural response when we are fully engaged with the moment. We realize that the present is a gift. Each breath, each step, each conversation is an opportunity to connect, to experience, and to appreciate the world around us. We don't need to wait for a special occasion or a perfect moment to be grateful. The beauty of life is in the details, in the ordinary, in the things we often take for granted. In our busy lives, it's easy to become distracted. We are constantly multitasking, juggling responsibilities, and trying to keep up with the demands of the world around us. But this constant state of doing pulls us away from simply being. We miss the moments that matter, the fleeting interactions, the subtle changes in our surroundings. When we are distracted, we are not truly living. We are just going through the motions. By embracing the present, we allow ourselves the space to be fully engaged with life as it happens. We open ourselves up to the richness of the experience, whether it's a simple moment of quiet reflection or an exciting new opportunity. Mindfulness is key to living in the present moment. It's the practice of paying attention to what is happening right now without judgment or distraction. When we practice mindfulness, we are not lost in thought, but aware of our surroundings, our emotions, and our physical sensations. We are tuned into the present experience, able to notice things we would otherwise miss. Mindfulness allows us to slow down, to savor the moment, and to truly appreciate what is happening in our lives. When we let go of our obsession with the past and the future, we also free ourselves from the weight of comparison. We stop measuring our worth against the achievements or failures of others. We stop believing that we are not enough because we haven't reached some external milestone or completed some arbitrary checklist. The present moment is where we can truly be ourselves without the pressure to conform to anyone's expectations. In the here and now, we are enough just as we are. There is no need to be anyone else, to do anything more, to have anything else. The present moment invites us to step into our own power, to recognize our own value, and to embrace who we are. Living in the present also helps us to reduce stress and anxiety. When we focus on the now, we are less likely to get caught up in worries about things we cannot control. We stop imagining worst-case scenarios and start dealing with what is right in front of us. Problems become less overwhelming when we take them one step at a time, when we approach each moment with clarity and presence. By giving our full attention to the present, we gain the perspective we need to handle challenges with calmness and confidence. At the heart of living in the present is the ability to let go. Letting go of the past means releasing the grip of old hurts, mistakes, and regrets that keep us trapped in a cycle of negative thinking. Letting go of the future means relinquishing the constant worry and fear about what may or may not happen. When we let go of these mental and emotional burdens, we make room for peace, for joy, and for the freedom to fully embrace the here and now. We stop carrying the weight of the past and the future on our shoulders, and instead we step into the lightness of being fully present. When we live in the present, we experience life in its fullness. We become more connected to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. The present moment is where life happens. It's where we can feel alive, truly alive. So, choose today to be present. Let go of what was, stop worrying about what might be, and simply experience this moment as it is. It is enough, and it is everything. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to remind you that the path to happiness, fulfillment, and success is not a destination, but a continuous journey. A journey that requires courage, resilience, and the willingness to embrace both the challenges and the victories along the way. You are stronger than you think, more capable than you realize, and your potential is limitless. Trust yourself, trust your voice, and remember that every step, every setback, and every victory shapes you into the person you are meant to become. Live fully in the present, embrace your unique path, and know that every moment is an opportunity to grow and evolve. Thank you for taking the time to listen, to reflect, and to connect with these words. May they inspire you to live your life with purpose, grace, and strength. I wish you all the best on your journey ahead. May you always find the courage to be true to yourself, the resilience to rise after every fall, and the wisdom to appreciate the beauty in every moment. Good luck and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are days the sun forgets to shine and the wind howls like it's grieving something we cannot name. Days when the world turns its back and the mirror tells you stories you don't want to hear. But even then, even especially then, you must remember this one sacred truth. Storms do not come to destroy, they come to reveal. And though time may seem ruthless and cold, it is in those very moments of pressure that the diamond steps forth from coal. You are not made of sugar to melt in rain. You are not made of glass to shatter at the first tremble. You are spirit. You are fire. You are more than your wounds. Hard times are not punishments, they are lessons wrapped in thunder. They are the ancestors calling you higher. The winds of struggle do not blow to scatter you, they blow to shape you, to carve out the truth in you that comfort will never teach. When your knees feel weak and your back is bent under the weight of this world, know this: you are not breaking, you are bending into strength. Just like a tree learns how to dance with the wind, so too must you learn to sway without falling. When you've been laughed at, overlooked, cast aside, you are being refined. When you've been left in silence, misunderstood, and misnamed, you are being stretched to fit your destiny. Every tear that slips down your cheek has a voice. Every sleepless night carries a seed. Trouble is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Pain is not your prison, it is your proving ground. Every no you've heard is building the yes you need. Every failure is not the end, it is the start of a better kind of success, the kind that cannot be taken, the kind that cannot be bought. Hardship is not a halt, it's the hallway to your higher self. So often we treat pain like a full stop. We believe that when trouble comes, it is a sign that something has gone wrong, that perhaps we took the wrong turn or made the wrong choice, but more often than not, pain is not a punishment, it is a passage. It does not arrive to paralyze you, it arrives to prepare you. It does not block your path, it becomes your path. There is something sacred about walking through what you thought would break you and finding that not only did you survive, you were shaped by it in the best of ways. There are times when life throws you into the fire not to burn you, but to burn away the things that no longer serve you, the fears, the excuses, the doubt. You don't become who you were born to be by avoiding the fire. You walk through it. You walk through loneliness. You walk through betrayal. You walk through nights when sleep won't come and days when joy feels too far to reach. And with each step, something changes, something awakens. Your strength, your patience, your ability to keep loving, even when your heart is tired. This is not the end of you. It is the beginning of a deeper, truer, unshakable you. When you meet hardship with resistance, it fights you. But when you meet it with acceptance, it teaches you. And it is in that moment, in that sacred meeting between your fear and your faith, that growth begins. You begin to realize you are capable of more than you ever believed. The job you lost, the friend who walked away, the door that slammed shut in your face. They were the hand of time moving you closer to who you really are. You don't build muscles in stillness. You build them under weight. You build them through resistance. That pressure you feel, that's your soul lifting more than it ever has before. That ache you feel, that's your spirit stretching into strength. Yes, it hurts. Yes, you're tired, but don't let that fool you. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're training. It means you're in motion. It means you're no longer asleep to your power. Life will ask you over and over again, how bad do you want it? Not in words, but in trials, in loss, in waiting, in long seasons where nothing blooms and yet you must keep sowing. You will want to give up. You will want to go back, but remember this. The hallway is not the end. The hallway is where you transform. It's where your doubt dies and your discipline is born. It's where your fear speaks loud and your courage whispers back, keep going. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of hardship that will look back and say thank you, not to the pain itself, but to the process. Because without it, you would have never found the fire in your bones. Without it, you wouldn't know how deep your roots go. So walk through the hallway, head high, feet steady, let the walls talk if they must. Let the darkness press in if it will. But don't stop. Not now, not when you've come this far. Because you're not losing yourself, you're finally meeting who you were always meant to be. Time doesn't test the weak, it trains the willing. Life doesn't choose its battles for those who are soft to the touch or faint at heart. It doesn't look for ease, it looks for effort. And time, in its quiet, relentless way, holds a mirror up to our resilience. It doesn't care for how loud you are when things are easy. It cares for how steady you stay when everything around you is breaking. It doesn't challenge you because you are weak. It challenges you because somewhere deep inside, it knows you are ready to be more than you've ever been. The willing ones are not born with superhuman strength. They are born with the same fears, the same doubts, the same fragile hearts. But what sets them apart is not what they carry, it's how they carry it. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't demand that the storms stop. They simply choose to keep walking, even with trembling hands. They say yes to growth when comfort whispers no. And this is how time begins its training. Not through grand moments, but through quiet endurance. There are days when the world asks for too much, when every door seems shut and every effort goes unnoticed. Those days are the gym where your soul lifts its heaviest weights, not by shouting louder, not by pushing harder, but by staying present, by showing up to your life even when it feels thankless. That is where the real strength is built, in the willingness to keep going without applause, in the decision to believe even when the evidence is missing. Time trains us not with mercy, but with meaning. It doesn't make it easy so we can feel proud. It makes it difficult so we can become proud of who we had to be to make it through. The long seasons of waiting, the disappointments that shake your trust, the setbacks that make you question if you're even on the right path, those are not signs to quit. They are signs you're being trained to handle the very things you asked for. You said you wanted to be strong. You said you wanted to rise. You said you wanted a life with purpose. Well, purpose doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It comes through pressure, through pruning, through pain that doesn't make sense until it has passed. The weak are not mocked by time. They are simply not ready yet. But the willing are called out into the unknown. They are stretched. They are shaken. They are placed in positions that feel too big, too fast, too heavy. And yet with each step they become They grow into the shoes they were once afraid to fill. They discover that what once scared them now stands behind them, no longer a wall, but a memory. And memories can't stop you, only fear can. But when you are willing, fear loses its voice. There will come a moment, maybe in silence, maybe in struggle, where you will realize you're no longer who you were. You'll notice that you don't cry as quickly, you don't break as easily, and you don't run from the fire. You walk through it with grace. That's not an accident. That's not luck. That's training. That's the result of every time you chose to show up instead of shut down. So when time comes again, whispering its challenges and testing your resolve, meet it with a yes. Meet it with a willing heart. Because you're not here to avoid the fight. You're here to learn how to win it. Scars are not shame. They're signatures of survival. They speak when words can't, and they testify even in silence. The world may try to make you hide them, cover them, pretend they were never there, but don't. Because every scar you carry is proof that you faced something that tried to destroy you and failed. You are still here, still breathing, still becoming, and that is not weakness. That is victory painted on your skin. You see, too often people mistake scars for signs of brokenness, when in truth they are signs of healing. A scar only appears after the wound has closed. It means the worst part is over. It means you've already walked through the fire and come out the other side. The process wasn't pretty, it wasn't clean, it wasn't easy, but it was real. And in that struggle, in that pain, you were made, not in your comfort, but in your comeback. You didn't choose the hurt, you didn't ask for the betrayal, the loss, the disappointment, but you lived through it. And every day you rise after what tried to pull you down, you prove that pain didn't get the last word. You did. The scar left behind isn't a reminder of the wound, it's a reminder of the warrior. And warriors don't apologize for their battles. They walk with their heads held high because they know what it took to keep standing. It's easy to wish it had all gone differently, to long for a life untouched by grief, by failure, by heartbreak. But untouched people rarely understand the depth of their own strength. They have never been pressed, never been stripped of certainty, never had to fight for joy when sorrow was the only thing in reach. But those who've been scarred, deeply, painfully, truthfully, they learn something more valuable than ease. They learn how to rise, they learn how to rebuild. They learn how to love life again, not because it is easy, but because they know how hard it once was. Scars teach you how to see differently. You start recognizing the strength in others, even if they're quiet about it. You begin to appreciate simple peace, knowing what chaos feels like. You stop judging others' pain because you felt your own and know how invisible it can be. And slowly, you stop seeking perfection in yourself. You start embracing the journey as it is, wounds and all. Because healing is not about going back to who you were, it's about stepping into who you were meant to be. There is power in your scars, not because they define you, but because they remind you. They remind you that you didn't quit, that you didn't let it end you, that you found a way forward when it would have been easier to give up. And if that isn't strength, what is? You are not fragile just because you've hurt. You are not weak because you've cried. The fact that you are still standing after all that tried to break you means that strength lives in your bones now. It means that no matter what comes next, you've already proven what you're made of. So don't cover them in shame. Don't turn away from them in silence. Wear your scars like truth. Let them be reminders not of pain, but of progress. Not of damage, but of depth. Because every scar tells a story, and your story is far from over. What presses you today prepares you for purpose tomorrow. It may not feel that way when the weight is heavy and your back is bent beneath burdens you never asked to carry. It may not make sense when each day feels like a battle just to hold yourself together. But life has a strange way of molding you when you least expect it. The very thing that feels like it's trying to break you is often the thing that's building you. Slowly, quietly, powerfully. There are moments when the pressure seems unfair, when you look around and wonder why others seem to move forward with ease while you are stuck in storms that won't pass. But pressure is not given without reason. It only comes to those who have something in them worth shaping. Gold is not refined without fire. Diamonds are not made without force. And greatness is not born from comfort. It's born from the moments you wanted to give up and didn't, from the nights you cried but still showed up, from the pain that pushed you further than you thought you could go. That pressure you feel is not there to crush you. It's there to carve something into your soul. It teaches patience when life delays what you've prayed for. It teaches strength when everything feels fragile. It teaches resilience when quitting seems easier than hoping. And more than anything, it teaches clarity, because in struggle, your distractions fall away, your excuses lose their power, and all that's left is the core of who you really are and who you're meant to become. There is no preparation without pressure. You can't step into your purpose half-formed, uncertain, or afraid of resistance. That's why you're being stretched now. That's why life is pressing in on you from all sides. It's not because you're not ready. It's because you're becoming ready. And every step you take under that weight is strengthening you for the next chapter. You may not see the path yet. You may feel like you're stumbling in the dark. But purpose is being built with every hard-earned step. You won't know how strong you are until life gives you something heavy to carry. You won't know how deep your faith goes until everything around you is shaking. You won't know your voice until you've had to speak through the noise. And when that day comes, when your purpose calls you forward, you'll realize that nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the confusion, not even the silence. It all prepared you. One day you will look back and see that every delay was a redirection. Every setback was setting the stage. Every heartbreak was hollowing out space for something greater to enter. The pressure was not proof that you were failing. It was proof that you were being refined. And the version of you that emerges will not only carry purpose, you will carry the wisdom of every battle you survived to get there. So when life presses in, don't pull away, lean in, stand firm, breathe deep, and remember, what feels heavy now is building a strength in you that cannot be taken. You're not just enduring, you're evolving, and your purpose is waiting on the other side of this very moment. Comfort builds ease, but struggle builds character. It's human to want rest, to reach for safety, to crave the familiar rhythms of ease. But ease, though sweet and gentle, is not where we grow. It's where we pause, it's where we coast, it's where we settle into who we already are, not who we are meant to become. If comfort were enough to create greatness, then everyone resting in soft places would be rising to powerful heights. But we know the truth. It is the ones who've struggled, stumbled, and risen again who carry depth. They are the ones who speak with power, walk with compassion, and lead with quiet strength. Struggle stretches the soul. It does not ask permission. It arrives uninvited and often unwanted. But its purpose is never to destroy. It comes to reveal the hidden places within us, the ones that strength has not yet touched. And it touches them not with violence, but with opportunity. Struggle asks, will you rise? Will you trust? Will you keep moving even when your legs ache and the road disappears beneath your feet? Comfort never asks that of you. It lets you stay who you are. It gives you softness, but not substance. And in those long seasons where nothing challenges you, you may feel safe, but you do not feel alive. It is in the struggle, when your patience is tested, when your heart is broken, when your plans unravel, that something true is born. You begin to see yourself not as fragile, but as forming. You begin to carry your days with intention, your words with care, your presence with meaning. Struggle doesn't just build strength. It builds empathy. It gives you eyes to see the silent battles in others. It humbles you. It teaches you to slow down, to listen, to understand. It peels away pride and replaces it with purpose. And as you walk through pain that once felt unbearable, you start to recognize your own power, not loud, not boastful, but steady and rooted. There are gifts buried in discomfort that only the willing discover. Discipline, endurance, courage. These are not handed out in places of ease. They are earned when you decide not to run away from the hard things, They are shaped when you show up day after day, even when progress is invisible. They are sealed when you look back and realize you've become someone you didn't know you had the strength to become. And yes, there will be moments when you long for comfort again, when you question why life chose you for certain battles. But those questions are part of the shaping too. They are not weakness. They're signs that you are deep in the work of becoming, that something new is being born within you, not in spite of your struggle, but because of it. Ease may feel like a blessing, but struggle is where you build your voice. It is where your decisions gain weight. It is where your values are tested and made real. You come to know yourself not by how well you rest, but by how fiercely you rise. And when life calls you to lead, to love deeply, to speak truth, you will answer from the place built by every hardship you once thought would undo you. So don't curse the struggle. Don't resist the refining. Character isn't made in still water, it's carved in the flood. Let it shape you. Let it teach you. Let it turn you into someone who not only survives, but inspires. You are not buried by trials, you are planted to rise. In the middle of hardship, it is so easy to believe that life is burying you, that the weight pressing down is too much, that the silence means you've been forgotten. But seeds too are covered by darkness before they break into bloom. Seeds too are pressed beneath earth, hidden from light, surrounded by pressure. Yet that covering is not the end, it is the beginning. That soil, though heavy, holds life. That silence, though long, holds promise. And that pressure, though painful, holds purpose. When life closes in, when your world shrinks and nothing seems to move forward, remember that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. You are being rooted. You are being prepared for growth that isn't instant, but lasting. In those seasons of trial, where nothing makes sense and answers seem far away, your strength is being woven into the fibers of your soul. You are not being forgotten. You are being formed. Rising doesn't always look like standing tall. Sometimes it looks like staying still in the storm. Sometimes it looks like holding your breath through the night. Sometimes it looks like trying again when you're already tired. But each small act of persistence pushes you closer to the surface. Each moment of endurance makes room for the breakthrough ahead. You are not stuck. You are strengthening. You are not sinking. You are settling into the foundation of who you are meant to be. The world teaches us to rush, to fix, to force, but nature teaches us to trust. No flower forces its bloom. No tree fights its way into the sky. It simply grows, rooted in patience and fed by pressure. And so must you. You must learn to see your trials not as prisons, but as preparation. You must understand that even in stillness, you are becoming. Even in the shadows, you are stretching toward the light. When others can't see your progress, that doesn't mean it isn't there. Your rising is not for their eyes, it's for your becoming. You don't owe the world a perfect story. You owe yourself the truth of your own resilience. And that truth is this: you were never meant to stay buried. You were meant to bloom. It's okay if you don't feel strong every day. It's okay if some days feel heavier than others. What matters is that you don't give up. What matters is that you remember where you are is not where you'll stay. Growth is quiet. Progress is often invisible, but it is always happening. When you choose not to quit, that buried feeling, that depth of struggle is sacred ground. From there, you will rise. And when you do, you won't rise empty. You will rise with wisdom that only struggle could teach. You will rise with compassion that only pain could plant. You will rise with power that only darkness could awaken. And you will know that you didn't just make it through, you grew. Not in spite of the trial, but because of it. So when it feels like the world has pushed you down, remind yourself, this is not the end. This is the beginning of something stronger. You are planted, you are rising. And soon the world will see the bloom that pressure prepared. And so if life has tested you, pressed you, scarred you, or left you standing in the dark wondering why, know this with certainty. You were never being punished. you are being prepared. Every weight you've carried, every struggle you've faced, every tear you've shed has been shaping something powerful within you. You are not the person who breaks. You are the one who bends, grows, rises, and keeps rising. Time reveals the truth, and the truth is you are always tougher than the trials meant to stop you. Let the world see your strength, not in how loud you speak, but in how deeply you've grown. Let your scars speak of victory. Let your pressure speak of purpose, and let your rising speak for itself. You are not finished, you are only getting started. Good luck on your journey ahead, and thank you for listening. Keep growing, keep going. Good evening. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the air shifts, when the quiet whispers grow louder, and your heart begins to drum a different rhythm. It is in those sacred moments that the invisible hand of the divine reaches down to touch your life, promising a change so profound it will shape the very essence of your being. You may not see it coming, you may not hear it clear at first, but the signs are there. Big, unmistakable signs that tell you something beautiful is about to unfold. The first sign is a stirring deep inside, a restless fire that no comfort can quiet. It is a hunger not for food or riches, but for meaning and truth. You feel the old walls cracking, the familiar no longer enough. Your spirit calls out, yearning to rise beyond the ordinary, aching to break free from the chains of doubt and fear. This unrest is not a curse, but a blessing in disguise. It is the divine whisper telling you that you are ready to step into a new chapter. It asks you to lean in, to trust the trembling within your soul, because that trembling is the pulse of change beating in your vein. There is a stirring inside you that you cannot quite explain. It is a feeling that creeps up slowly at first, like the gentle whisper of the wind brushing against the trees, almost unnoticed but growing steadily stronger with each passing day. This restlessness is not simply discomfort or dissatisfaction. It is the soul's quiet rebellion against the confines of a life that no longer fits. You may find yourself waking up with a heaviness in your chest or feeling a yearning that no possession or achievement can satisfy. This deep unease is the first sign that something extraordinary is on the horizon, a signal from beyond, a divine nudge that the life you have known is about to transform. This restlessness is sacred. It is the voice of your innermost self, calling you to remember who you truly are and who you are meant to become. It cannot be ignored or silenced by the noise of the world or the distractions that often fill our days. It is relentless and persistent because it carries with it the power of change. It shakes the foundations of comfort and complacency, urging you to step beyond the familiar boundaries you once accepted without question. This is no small thing. It is the soul's way of telling you that the season of stagnation has ended and a new chapter is ready to be written. In this space of unrest, you may wrestle with fear and uncertainty. The unknown can feel like a vast, dark ocean, and you may hesitate to let go of the shore you know. But this restlessness is a sacred invitation to courage, a call to trust the unseen hand guiding you forward. It asks you to embrace discomfort, not as a burden, but as a companion on a journey toward growth. It challenges you to shed the old skin of doubt, habits, and limiting beliefs that have held you back, and to rise with the faith that the life waiting for you is far greater than the one you are leaving behind. Often this stirring awakens a hunger, not for material things or fleeting pleasures, but for deeper meaning and purpose. You begin to see beyond the surface of daily routines and to question the true value of your efforts. This hunger is the beginning of a spiritual awakening, a divine hunger that seeks fulfillment not in what can be bought or controlled, but in what can be lived and shared. It invites you to align with a higher calling, to pursue a life rich with intention, passion, and love. This is the moment when the ordinary begins to shimmer with a possibility of the extraordinary. As this restlessness grows, you may notice subtle shifts in your thoughts and actions. The things that once brought comfort may no longer satisfy. Relationships, jobs, and environments that seemed stable might now feel limiting. You start to dream bigger, to imagine possibilities that once felt out of reach. Your heart opens wider to hope and to the promise of transformation. This change does not happen overnight, nor does it come without struggle, but it is happening nonetheless, quietly and steadily, like the dawn breaking the longest night. Remember, this deep restlessness is a divine sign. It is a sacred invitation to awaken from the sleep of routine and step into the fullness of your life's purpose. It is the universe's way of telling you that you are ready to grow, to heal, and to become the magnificent person you were always meant to be. When you lean into this stirring rather than resist it, you begin to move toward a life that is richer, fuller, and infinitely more beautiful. Like this is the first and powerful sign that God is about to change your life forever. Trust the restlessness. It is the heartbeat of your transformation. There comes a moment when, despite the storms raging around you, a calm begins to settle deep within your heart. It is unexpected, like a gentle stillness after a tempest, a quiet peace that does not depend on the circumstances of your life. This peace is not the absence of trouble or struggle, but the presence of something greater, a grace that wraps around your soul, softening the sharp edges of fear and worry. It is a sacred sign, a divine message telling you that transformation is quietly taking root, even in the midst of chaos. This peace feels like a balm, soothing the restless spirit that once cried out for change, but feared what that change might bring. It does not come from outside sources or fleeting moments of happiness, but rises from within, a steady flame that no hardship can extinguish. When you feel this peace, it is as if the universe itself is whispering to you, hold on, trust, for you are not walking this path alone. It is the assurance that the divine hand is guiding you gently toward the life you were created to live, even when the road seems uncertain or the night grows long. In this sacred stillness, your perspective begins to shift. You start to see your struggles not as punishments or failures, but as necessary steps on the journey. Each challenge, each heartbreak, and each setback become lessons in resilience and faith. This peace teaches you to embrace the process rather than rush the outcome, to find meaning in waiting and strength in patience. It reminds you that transformation is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it is the quiet unfolding of a new season in your soul. This calm invites you to release the weight of yesterday's burdens. It asks you to lay down your fears, your regrets, and your need for control, opening your hands and heart to what is yet to come. In doing so, you make space for new blessings to enter your life. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous act of trust, a willingness to be led by a power far greater than yourself. It is in this letting go that you begin to experience true freedom, the freedom to be renewed, to heal, and to grow into the person you were meant to be. As this peace deepens, it becomes a guiding light, steady and unwavering. It helps you navigate the twists and turns of life with grace and confidence. When doubt threatens to cloud your vision, you remember this calm and hold fast. When fear whispers lies of defeat, this peace rises within you like a shield, reminding you of your strength and worth. It becomes the foundation on which you build your new life, a quiet certainty that no matter what comes, you are supported and loved beyond measure. This sacred stillness also opens your heart to gratitude and hope. You begin to notice the small miracles that surround you, the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a sunrise, the laughter of a child. These moments of grace become anchors in your day, reminders that even in the darkest times, light is present and love is at work. Your faith grows not because all things are easy, but because you have learned to trust the unseen, to believe in the power of a divine plan unfolding in perfect timing. This peace is a precious gift, a sign that the seeds of change are growing beneath the surface. It calls you to be patient, to keep walking even when the path is unclear. It reminds you that the greatest transformations often begin in silence, and that sometimes the most profound shifts happen when we stop striving and start trusting. When you embrace this calm, you step into a sacred space where miracles can happen and your life can be forever changed. Hold on to this peace. It is the heart's assurance that you are on the brink of something beautiful. There comes a moment when the way you see yourself and the world around you begins to change. It is subtle at first, a gentle unfolding of vision that reveals new colors in the tapestry of your life. The broken pieces you once wished to hide now catch the light differently, showing a beauty that was always there but unseen. Your scars, once sources of shame or pain, become marks of courage and testimony to the battles you have survived. This shift in perspective is a powerful sign that transformation is not just near but already underway. In this new way of seeing, you begin to understand that every failure and setback was not an end, but a necessary part of your story. Those moments you feared would define you instead become lessons etched into your soul, teaching you strength, patience, and resilience. What once felt like defeat now reveals itself as preparation, a shaping and molding by life's fires that makes you wiser, braver, and more compassionate. You start to carry your history not as a burden, but as a badge of honor, knowing that it has brought you closer to your true self. This change also touches how you view others in the world around you. Suddenly, you notice the grace in ordinary moments, the smile of a stranger, the rustle of leaves in the wind, the quiet beauty of a morning sunrise. The world is no longer a place of harsh judgment or cold indifference, but a sacred space full of possibility and wonder. This new vision invites you to walk with open eyes and an open heart, ready to embrace both the challenges and the gifts that life offers. You begin to see your purpose more clearly too, no longer distracted by the illusions of perfection or success defined by others. You tune into the unique path that is meant for you. Your dreams take shape not from pressure or comparison, but from the deep knowing of your soul's desires. This clarity gives you courage to move forward, even when the future is uncertain. It is a reminder that your worth is not measured by your past mistakes, but by your willingness to grow and keep trying. As this perspective shifts, you find a new dignity in your daily walk. You carry yourself with a quiet strength, grounded in the knowledge that you are becoming. The fear that once held you back loosens its grip, replaced by a steady confidence that no matter what comes, you have the inner resources to face it. This is not arrogance, but humble acceptance of your own power and potential. It is the grace of someone who has learned that true change starts from within. In this transformation, forgiveness plays a vital role. You begin to forgive yourself for the times you stumbled, the chances you missed, and the pain you carried. You realize that holding on to guilt or regret only keeps you chained to the past. Forgiveness opens the door to freedom and healing, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. It is through this act of grace that you reclaim your story and step fully into the life that awaits. This evolving vision of yourself and your world is a profound sign that God is working quietly but powerfully in your life. It is the unveiling of your true identity and purpose, the awakening to a life lived fully and fearlessly. When you embrace this shift, you begin to walk with a new rhythm, one that carries the promise of hope, renewal, and endless possibility. This change in perspective is not just a moment, it is a movement of the soul. It is the sign that your life is about to be changed forever. There is a peculiar and powerful way in which life begins to close doors around you, not as punishment or loss, but as a gentle yet firm redirection towards something greater. These doors may be opportunities you once pursued with hope, or relationships you once cherished deeply, yet suddenly, without explanation, they begin to shut. At first, this closing can feel like rejection or failure, stirring confusion and even sorrow. But this is not the end. Rather, it is a divine signal, a sacred guidepost marking the path away from what no longer serves your highest good and toward what awaits you in the fullness of your destiny. When doors close, it can feel as though the world conspires to hold you back. You may wrestle with questions and doubts. Why now? Why me? Why this door? Yet these closures are not random or cruel, but deliberate acts of grace. They clear the way, removing distractions and detours that keep you from your true calling. The universe is making space in your life, clearing away what is worn, tired, or misplaced so that fresh blessings and new beginnings can enter. It is a divine clearing, a sacred pause that invites you to trust the unseen plan unfolding for your life. This process teaches a profound lesson in surrender and faith. It asks you to release control, to let go of attachment to outcomes and familiar comforts. It is not easy to watch a door close, especially when the next step is unknown. Yet in releasing what was, you create room for what will be. This openness is a courageous act of trust, an embrace of the mystery and promise of transformation. It asks you to believe that what lies ahead, even if invisible now, is better, richer, and more aligned with your soul's purpose. As doors close, you may feel called to pause and reflect. This is a sacred invitation to look inward, to listen deeply to your heart's whispers and your spirit's longings. It is a time to discern what truly matters and to realign your life with your deepest values and dreams. In this space, clarity begins to emerge. You start to see that some losses are blessings in disguise, that endings are the fertile soil from which new beginnings grow. This perspective shift opens you to hope and possibility, even in the midst of uncertainty. Sometimes closed doors lead to new paths that you had never imagined. They push you out of comfort zones and familiar patterns, inviting you to expand and evolve. This can be a time of remarkable growth and discovery, a season where you learn to trust your inner voice more fully and to lean on a power greater than yourself. The closed door becomes a threshold, a passage into a life filled with deeper meaning and greater purpose. This redirection also teaches resilience. It reminds you that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to rise again with wisdom and strength. Each closed door is a test of your faith and your willingness to keep moving forward despite uncertainty. It is in these moments that your character is forged and your spirit strengthened. You begin to understand that the divine timing is perfect, even if it does not match your own. When you embrace the closing of doors with grace and trust, you align yourself with a higher rhythm, a sacred dance of letting go and receiving. You step into a space of openness where miracles can occur and where your life can be reshaped in ways you never thought possible. This is the divine choreography of change, where what appears to be loss is actually a profound gain. So when you find doors closing around you, do not despair or resist. Instead, listen closely, breathe deeply, and trust that you are being led to a new and beautiful beginning. This is a powerful sign that your life is about to change forever. Trust the process. Sometimes, in the midst of confusion and waiting, a sudden clarity breaks through like the first light of dawn piercing the darkest night. It comes unexpectedly, without warning, a clear vision that illuminates the path ahead and awakens a spark of hope deep within your soul. This clarity is a powerful sign that God is about to change your life forever. It is the moment when the fog lifts and you begin to see beyond the challenges, beyond the doubts, and into the realm of possibility that has always been waiting for you. This vision may arrive as a quiet knowing, a gentle nudge in your heart, or a vivid image of the future you long to live. It cuts through confusion and fear, offering direction and purpose where before there was uncertainty. When this clarity comes, it feels like coming home to yourself, finding alignment between who you are and who you were meant to be. It reveals the path that your spirit has been yearning to walk, even if you could not see it clearly before. With this new vision, hope is reborn. You begin to dream again, not in a fragile or fearful way, but with boldness and confidence. The possibilities that once seemed out of reach now feel tangible, and your heart swells with the courage to take the next step. This clarity does not promise an easy journey, but it offers a certainty that you are on the right path, guided by a higher power that knows your worth and destiny. As this vision unfolds, you find yourself drawn to purpose with renewed energy. You begin to see how your past struggles and lessons have prepared you for this moment. What once felt like setbacks now makes sense as stepping stones, each one shaping the person you need to become to fulfill your calling. This realization fuels your determination and resilience, reminding you that you have everything within you to succeed. This clarity also helps you prioritize what matters most. The noise of distractions and doubts begins to fade as your heart focuses on the goals and values that truly resonate with your soul. You become more intentional in your choices, seeking alignment rather than approval and meaning rather than mere achievement. This refined focus creates momentum, propelling you forward with purpose and passion. In this newfound vision, fear may still visit, but it no longer holds dominion over you. Instead, you learn to walk alongside fear with faith, recognizing it as a companion on the journey rather than a barrier. This courage is born from the deep knowing that the path you are on is divinely guided, and that every step, even the difficult ones, leads you closer to the life you were created to live. This clarity can also bring a sense of peace amidst the uncertainty. Even when the road ahead is not fully mapped out, you trust that the divine plan is unfolding perfectly. You embrace the mystery of the journey with open arms, knowing that what lies ahead is far greater than what you can imagine. This trust transforms your mindset from one of scarcity and fear to one of abundance and hope. When this sudden vision breaks through, it is a sacred gift, an invitation to step boldly into the life awaiting you. It asks you to listen deeply to your heart, to follow the path illuminated before you, and to believe wholeheartedly in your own potential. This clarity is a beacon of light, guiding you away from doubt and hesitation toward a future filled with promise and purpose. So when you experience this moment of sudden clarity, hold it close. Let it fuel your faith and inspire your steps forward. This is one of the greatest signs that your life is on the brink of a beautiful and lasting change. Embrace the vision, for it is the dawn of your new beginning. There is a quiet but undeniable drawing, a pull towards certain people, places, and opportunities that feel like they belong to the story God is writing for you. This attraction is not random or accidental. It is a gentle but firm guidance from the divine, leading you toward the life that has been prepared just for you. When you notice yourself gravitating toward new faces, unfamiliar paths, or unexpected chances, it is a powerful sign that your life is on the cusp of transformation. These encounters and openings are not mere coincidences, but pieces of a greater puzzle coming together to usher you into your next season. This pull often feels like a stirring inside your heart, a whisper that says you belong here, that this moment matters, that this connection holds promise. It may be a person who inspires you, someone who challenges your old ways of thinking and invites growth. It may be a place where your spirit feels at home, a space where possibilities seem endless and your dreams can breathe. It may be an opportunity that aligns with your deepest values and passions, one that feels both exciting and right, even if it comes with risks or uncertainty. When you pay attention to these subtle invitations, you begin to see a pattern, a divine orchestration that weaves your life's threads into a tapestry rich with meaning. This guidance is gentle, requiring patience and trust, but persistent enough to steer you away from what no longer serves you. It redirects your energy and focus toward what nourishes your soul and helps you grow into the person you are meant to be. It is a sign that you are awakening to your purpose, that you are ready to receive the blessings waiting for you. Often, following this pull demands courage. It asks you to step outside your comfort zone and embrace the unknown. It may require letting go of familiar people or places, even if that feels painful, because holding on would keep you from the greater good ahead. This journey is not always smooth, but it is rich with learning and growth. Each new connection or chance is a gift, a stepping stone on the path toward your destiny. The divine hand is guiding you carefully, placing just the right people and moments along the way to support and uplift you. As you move toward these new people and opportunities, you may find yourself changing in unexpected ways. Your heart softens, your mind expands, and your spirit becomes more alive. These encounters open doors to fresh ideas, healing, and wisdom. They challenge old beliefs and inspire new dreams. The energy around you shifts, and you begin to feel more aligned with your true self. This alignment brings a sense of joy and purpose that fills your days with meaning. This pull also reminds you of the importance of discernment. Not every new person or opportunity is meant to stay forever, but each serves a purpose in your growth. Some may teach you lessons you needed to learn, while others may walk alongside you for a season, helping you gain strength and clarity. Trusting this process requires faith that every encounter is part of a divine plan designed to shape you and prepare you for the life ahead. When you listen to this inner guidance and follow where it leads, you find yourself moving toward a future that feels bright and hopeful. You begin to experience synchronicities and moments of grace that confirm you are on the right path. Doors open more easily, challenges become manageable, and your sense of purpose deepens. This alignment between your heart's desires and the opportunities before you is one of the clearest signs that God is at work, transforming your life in ways you may not yet fully understand. So when you feel this pull towards certain people, places, or opportunities, do not ignore it. Lean into it with faith and courage. Let it guide you toward the abundant life waiting just beyond the horizon. This is a sacred sign that your life is on the brink of a beautiful and lasting change. Trust the guidance, for it is leading you home. As we come to the close of this reflection, remember that these signs, the restless stirring within, the unexpected peace that calms your heart, the new vision that transforms your view, the closing doors that guide your steps, the sudden clarity that lights your way, and the gentle pull toward what truly belongs to you are not mere coincidences. They are sacred invitations from the divine, calling you to embrace the change that is waiting to unfold in your life. Trust in this journey, walk with courage, and open your heart to the beautiful transformation that is already taking shape. May you move forward with faith and hope, knowing that your life is about to be changed forever in ways more magnificent than you can imagine. Good luck on this remarkable journey, and thank you for sharing this moment of inspiration with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time when the world asks you to fit into a mold, to think, act, and dream within the boundaries it has set for you. But I stand here today to remind you that the greatest voices, the most powerful changes, and the deepest inspirations come not from those who stayed within the lines, but from those who dared to step beyond them. Some are born into circumstances meant to silence them. They are told their voices do not matter, their presence is a burden, and their dreams are too grand for the reality they were given. But when you choose to think beyond limitations, when you decide that your story will not be dictated by the world, but instead written by your own hands, you reclaim your power. To think out of the box is not just about creativity, it is about courage. It is about knowing that even when the odds are against you, your mind, your resilience, and your spirit can break every chain that tries to hold you down. It is about using your words to uplift, your actions to inspire, and your presence to remind others that they too are worthy of every dream they dare to dream. It is about walking with grace, speaking with conviction, and standing tall in the face of doubt. So I ask you today, when the world tells you to shrink, will you rise? When life places walls in your way, will you find the strength to climb? When you are told to sit quietly, will you instead speak with unwavering truth? Think beyond limits. Dream beyond expectations. Lie beyond fear. Because the moment you step out of the box, you step into the greatness you were always meant for. From the moment we take our first breath, society begins shaping us, telling us who we should be, how we should be, and what we should act, and what we should aspire to. We are handed labels before we even understand their meaning. Some are told they are too small to make a difference, too different to belong, or too unimportant to be heard. Others are taught that success has a formula, that dreams should be practical, and that stepping out of line is dangerous. But let me tell you this, every great innovator, every powerful leader, every voice that has ever shifted the course of history has done so by refusing to be confined. They did not accept the roles assigned to them. They did not shrink themselves to fit the expectations of others. Instead, they shattered the mold and created something entirely new. Breaking the mold is not just about rejecting limitations, it is about defining yourself on your own terms. It is about standing in the face of doubt and choosing to believe in your own worth. It is about realizing that the walls built around you are not unbreakable and the ceilings placed above you are not unshatterable. The only thing required to break free is the courage to do so. But make no mistake, breaking the mold is not always easy. People will question you. They will challenge you. They will try to pull you back into the box because that is where they feel safe. And when they cannot understand your vision, they may even tell you that it is impossible. But impossible is only a one that has been disproven time and time again by those who dare to think differently. So when you find yourself standing at a crossroads, one path well-worn and expected, the other uncertain and untraveled, choose boldly. Choose the path that challenges you, the one that excites you, the one that scares you just enough to remind you that you are alive. Because the moment you step beyond the boundaries set for you, you do not just change your own life, you change the world around you. The mold was never meant to contain someone as powerful, as brilliant, and as extraordinary as you. So break it, rebuild something greater, and show the world what it truly means to be limitless. Silence has many forms. It is the quiet imposed upon those who are told they do not matter. It is the hesitation in someone's voice when they fear their words will be dismissed. It is the weight of unspoken dreams locked inside hearts too afraid to express them. Some people are born into circumstances where their voices are not valued. They are told to be seen and not heard. They are taught that their opinions are irrelevant, their emotions are excessive, and their dreams are unrealistic. They may sit in rooms where others speak over them, in spaces where their presence is overlooked, and in conversations where their words are met with indifference. Over time, they may begin to believe that silence is safer, that shrinking themselves is necessary, that their thoughts and ideas have no place in the world. But let me tell you something, silence does not protect you. It does not shield you from struggle, nor does it make life any kinder. What it does is rob you of the chance to shape your own story. The longer you stay silent, the easier it becomes to forget the power you hold within you. And the world is more than happy to keep you quiet if you allow it. But here's the truth, no one else can tell your story the way you can. No one else can carry your message, share your perspective, or bring your unique light into the world. When you choose to break the silence, you are not just speaking for yourself, you are speaking for every person who has ever been made to feel small, for every dreamer who has been told to be realistic, for every soul who has ever questioned whether their voice matters. Overcoming silence requires courage. It means daring to speak even when your voice shakes. It means standing up for yourself even when others try to push you down. It means embracing the discomfort of being heard and knowing that your truth deserves space in this world. Your voice is your power. Your words have the ability to heal, to challenge, to inspire, and to transform. When you break the silence, you not only liberate yourself, but you also give others permission to do the same. So no matter how long you have been quiet, no matter how many times you have been dismissed, and no matter how many doubts try to creep into your mind, speak anyway. Speak with clarity, with confidence, with conviction. Because once you find your voice, you will never allow the world to silence you again. Courage and resilience are not just qualities, they are the foundation of every great success, every remarkable breakthrough, and every story of triumph. These are the forces that push people beyond their limitations, helping them rise when the world expects them to fall. Without courage, dreams remain ideas locked away in the mind. Without resilience, even the boldest vision fades at the first sign of hardship. But here's the truth, courage is not the absence of fear, and resilience is not the absence of struggle. Courage is feeling the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, and deciding to move forward anyway. It is standing at the edge of the unknown and stepping forward with faith, even when your legs shake. Resilience is the ability to endure, to bend but not break, to stumble but never stay down. It is the fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished no matter how fierce the storm. The world is not always kind to those who dare to be different, who dare to dream beyond what is expected. There will be moments when you are tested, when rejection knocks at your door, when failures make you question your abilities, when obstacles seem too overwhelming to overcome. In those moments, you may wonder if it is easier to give up, to settle, to retreat into comfort and familiarity. But courage whispers, try one more time. Resilience says, you are stronger than you think. Some of the most inspiring people in history did not succeed because they were the most talented or the most gifted. They succeeded because they refused to give up. They faced rejection after rejection, failure after failure, yet they pressed forward, knowing that each setback was not the end of the story, but merely a chapter in their journey. Think about the times you have faced challenges in your own life. Maybe you were told you were not good enough. Maybe life knocked you down in ways you never expected, but you are still here. You are still standing. That is resilience. That is courage. That is proof that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. Building resilience does not mean you will never feel pain, frustration, or disappointment. It means you will not let those feelings define you. It means learning to take the lessons from every failure and using them to fuel your next attempt. It means understanding that strength is built not in the easy moments, but in the moments when everything seems impossible. So when life tests you, when the road ahead feels too steep, when the voices of doubt grow louder, remember who you are. Remember the battles you have already fought and won. Remember that your story is still being written, and you have the power to turn every challenge into a victory. Have the courage to keep going. Have the resilience to rise again. Because no matter how many times you fall, as long as you get back up, you are unstoppable. The power to inspire is not reserved for the famous, the wealthy, or the extraordinary. It belongs to each and every one of us. You do not need a stage, a spotlight, or a platform to make a difference. Sometimes the most powerful inspiration comes from everyday acts of courage, kindness, and resilience. Inspiration begins when you choose to live your truth, when you step outside the box of expectations and dare to follow your own path. You give others permission to do the same. Your story, your struggles, your victories, your persistence has the power to ignite something in another person. You may never know who is watching, who is listening, who is silently gathering strength from your journey. But trust this, someone is. So about the people who have inspired you. Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you when no one else did. Maybe it was a friend who stood by you in your darkest moments. Maybe it was a stranger whose simple act of kindness reminded you that goodness still exists in the world. Inspiration is not always loud. It can be as small as a word of encouragement, a moment of understanding, a gesture that says, you are not alone. One of the most powerful ways to inspire others is by leading through example. You cannot force someone to believe in themselves, but you can show them what belief looks like. You can show them that failure is not the end, that hardship is not a reason to quit, that dreams are worth fighting for. When people see you rise after every fall, they begin to believe that they too can rise. When they see you stay true to yourself despite the pressures of the world, they are encouraged to do the same. But inspiration is not just about success, it is also about honesty. People do not connect with perfection, they connect with authenticity. When you share your struggles, your doubts, your moments of weakness, you show others that they are not alone in their battles. You show them that even the strongest people have faced hardships, and that strength is not about never falling, it is about always getting back up. The beauty of inspiring others is that it creates a ripple effect. One act of courage sparks another. One voice speaking truth encourages another to rise. One person breaking free from limitations empowers others to do the same. You may never see the full impact of your actions, but rest assured, every time you choose to live boldly, to love deeply, to persevere despite the odds, you are lighting the way for someone else. So I ask you, how will you inspire? Will you be the person who lifts others up with encouragement? Will you be the example that shows others what is possible? Will you use your experiences, your struggles, and your victories to be a guiding light for those who need it most? Inspiration is not about being perfect. It is about being real, being relentless, and being willing to share your light with the world. And the world needs your light now more than ever. In a world that often demands aggression to be heard and forcefulness to be seen, there is something profoundly powerful about moving through life with grace and conviction. These two qualities, one soft, one firm, are not opposites but partners. Grace allows you to navigate life with dignity, wisdom, and kindness, while conviction gives you the strength to stand firm in your beliefs, your dreams, and your truth. Grace is not weakness. It is not about letting the world walk over you or remaining silent when your voice deserves to be heard. Grace is strength refined. It is knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to stand firm and when to move with the flow of life. It is the quiet confidence of someone who understands their worth, who does not need to shout to be noticed or demand to be respected. Conviction, on the other hand, is a fire inside you that refuses to be dimmed. It is the unshakable belief in what is right, in what matters, and what deserves to be fought for. Conviction does not waver in the face of doubt. It does not crumble under pressure. It is the voice inside you that says, "This is who I am, and I will not apologize for it." But here is the key: grace and conviction must work together. Conviction without grace can become rigid, stubborn, even harsh. It can make you so focused on being right that you forget to be kind. It can push people away when you should be drawing them in. On the other hand, grace without conviction can become passive, allowing others to dictate your path, silence your truth, and diminish your power. The most powerful people in history did not choose between grace and conviction. They embodied both. They knew how to stand tall in their beliefs while extending kindness to those who opposed them. They knew how to fight for justice without losing their humanity. They understood that true power is not about domination, but about influence, the ability to change hearts and minds through example, not force. Grace is in the way you carry yourself and the way you treat others, even those who disagree with you. It is in the way you forgive, the way you uplift, the way you walk into a room and make it better just by being there. Conviction is in the way you refuse to be silenced, in the way you keep moving forward, even when the road is rough, in the way you stand up for what you believe in, even when standing alone. When you combine grace with conviction, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of person whose presence commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. You become the kind of leader people want to follow, not out of fear, but out of admiration. So move through life with grace. Let your kindness, wisdom, and humility speak for you. But never lose your conviction. Let your strength, determination, and belief in yourself guide you. Because the world does not just need loud voices, it needs voices of purpose. It needs voices that carry both the warmth of grace and the fire of conviction. Fear is a shadow that follows us all. It whispers doubts into our minds, reminding us of past failures, of what could go wrong, of all the ways we might fall short. It convinces us that we are not ready, that we are not enough, that it is safer to stay where we are rather than risk the unknown. Fear can be so powerful that it keeps people trapped not in physical cages, but in invisible ones made of hesitation, insecurity, and self-doubt. But what if I told you that fear is not your enemy? What if fear is not meant to stop you, but to test you? Because here's the truth: fear will always be present, but it does not have to control you. Living without fear does not mean never feeling afraid. It means refusing to let fear make your decisions. It means acknowledging fear, but choosing to move forward anyway. Think about the dreams you have buried because of fear, the opportunities you have walked away from because of self-doubt, the moments when you wanted to speak up, to take action, to step into something greater, but you hesitated. How many times has fear stolen a moment that could have changed your life? Fear thrives on hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger it becomes. It builds walls around your potential, convincing you that you are safer inside. But safety is not the same as fulfillment. A life lived in fear is a life half-lived, one where dreams are left unspoken, talents go undiscovered, and potential remains untapped. But here's the good news: fear can be overcome. And the first step is understanding that fear is often an illusion. It creates worst-case scenarios in your mind that rarely come true. It tells you that failure is permanent when, in reality, failure is just another lesson on the road to success. It makes obstacles seem larger than they really are. But when you take action despite fear, something incredible happens. It shrinks. The moment you step into the unknown, you realize it is not as terrifying as your mind made it seem. Some of the greatest achievements in history happened because someone chose to live without fear. They refused to let the opinions of others define them. They refused to let past mistakes hold them back. They understood that fear is temporary, but regret lasts forever. Living without fear does not mean recklessness, it means confidence. It means trusting yourself, knowing that even if you stumble, you will rise again. It means looking at life's uncertainties and saying, I will figure it out. It means replacing doubt with faith, hesitation with action, and excuses with courage. So ask yourself, what would you do if fear was not holding you back? Would you start that business? Write that book, speak your truth? Would you finally step into the person you were meant to be? You have one life, one chance to make an impact, to leave a legacy, to experience the fullness of what this world has to offer. Do not let fear steal it from you. Be bold, be brave, live without fear, and watch how the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. You were not born to live in a mold created by others. You were not meant to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's expectations. You were not placed on this earth to live in silence, to be paralyzed by fear, or to let doubt dictate your choices. You were meant for more. Breaking the mold means stepping into your power. Overcoming silence means refusing to let the world ignore your voice. Courage and resilience means standing strong, even when the road is difficult. Inspiring others means leading with authenticity, showing the world what is possible when you refuse to give up. Grace and conviction mean balancing kindness with strength, knowing when to fight and when to listen. And living without fear means embracing the unknown, trusting that you are capable of handling whatever life brings your way. But none of these things happen by accident. You have to choose them. Every single day you have to decide to break free from limitations, to speak up, to believe in yourself even when no one else does. You have to choose to stand tall in your truth, even when it is uncomfortable. You have to choose to be bold, to be relentless, to chase the life you deserve. The world does not need more people who conform. It needs more people who dare to be different. People who walk through life with courage in their hearts, conviction in their words, and purpose in their steps. It needs people like you. So go forward with confidence, speak your truth, rise after every fall, live fully, boldly, unapologetically. Because once you decide to break free from the limits placed on you, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can hold you back.
Hello, everyone. My dear brothers and sisters, lend me your hearts for a moment, your ears for a while. Let me speak to the part of you that has been weary but still walking, broken but still believing. Life, my loves, is no gentle river. It does not always flow smooth and sweet. No. Life will sometimes snatch the ground from beneath you, shake your bones with sorrow, bend your back with burdens. But hear me when I tell you, there are those who stand up again, those who press forward when the road is nothing but thorns. These, my loves, are the resilient ones. And today I will share with you their three great secrets. First, they know that storms do not last forever. The night may stretch long and cruel, but even the darkest hour must bow before the dawn. There will be trials that test your spirit, knock on the doors of your faith, and whisper doubt into your ear. But hold on. Hold on to your hope like it is the last candle in a world of shadows. The wind may howl, but it cannot put out a soul set on fire. My dear ones, listen to me now. Life has a way of testing us, pressing its weight upon our shoulders, daring us to crumble. There will be nights that stretch too long, mornings that do not bring relief. There will be storms, oh, there will be storms that shake your very soul, threaten to drown the light inside you. But listen closely and listen well. No storm lasts forever. There will be days when the rain falls heavy and the sky is nothing but an endless gray. Days when the world feels cold, when your spirit is weary, when the road ahead disappears into the mist. You will wonder if the sun has forgotten you, if the warmth you once knew will ever return. You will stand in the middle of your storm, fists clenched, heart pounding, and you will think, this is it. This is where I lose myself. But my love, that is the lie the storm tells. That is the whisper of fear, the voice of doubt. The illusion that hardship wants you to believe. Because you see, storms are not eternal. Even the wildest, most relentless hurricane must bow before the quiet strength of time. The wind may howl, but it cannot howl forever. The rain may pour, but it will not drown the world. The night may be long, but eventually, inevitably, the dawn must come. You are stronger than you think, braver than you know. Your heart was not made to be shattered by a single storm. It was made to endure, to persist, to rise even when it has been broken. And resilience, my dear one, is knowing that this suffering, this pain, this fear, it is temporary. It will not hold you forever unless you let it. Think of the trees that stand through the fiercest of winds. They do not resist. They do not break. They bend. They move with the storm, not against it. And because of that, when the sky's clear and the sun returns, they are still there, standing tall, their roots even deeper than before. You must do the same. Do not let the storm convince you that it is stronger than you. It is not. You were here before it came, and you will be here long after it passes. And when the storm does pass, as it always does, you will find yourself standing in a world washed clean, a world reborn. The air will be fresher, the sky clearer, and you, my love, will be stronger. You will have learned something about yourself, that you are capable of enduring, that you are not as fragile as you once believed. You will see that every hardship you have faced, every sorrow you have carried has shaped you into something unbreakable. So hold on. Hold on when the wind screams in your ears. Hold on when the rain soaks your skin, when the thunder shakes your bones. Hold on when the night feels endless, when the weight of it all threatens to pull you under. Hold on, my dear one, because the storm is not forever, and neither is your suffering. The sun is waiting just beyond the clouds, and so is the next chapter of your story. Stay standing, keep believing. The storm will pass and you will rise. My dear ones, hear me now. There will come a time in your life when the wind is not gentle, when it does not whisper but roars, when it does not caress but pushes and shoves and demands you to fall. Life in all its beauty does not always come with kind hands. Sometimes it comes with weight, with trials, with lessons wrapped in struggle. And when it does, you must understand this. You do not have to stand stiff like stone. You do not have to fight the storm with rigid arms and clenched fists. No, my love, the secret is not in resisting. The secret is in learning how to bend without breaking. Look to the trees. Look at how they move with the wind, how they sway, how they dance even in the fiercest of storms. They do not stand defiant against the wind, daring it to snap their limbs. They do not fight the inevitable. They do something wiser. They yield, they shift, they let the wind pass through them instead of trying to hold it back. And because of that, when the storm is gone, they are still standing, their roots even deeper, their trunks even stronger. You must learn this, my love. Hardship will come, that is certain. It will test you, shake you, try to uproot you, but it cannot break you unless you refuse to bend. There is no shame in adjusting and shifting, in finding new ways to stand. There is no shame in bowing your head to the wind for a moment and gathering your strength before rising again. Strength is not found in unyielding resistance. It is found in the wisdom to move with life rather than against it. You will face moments where the world demands you to change, to grow, to release the things that no longer serve you. You will feel the weight of expectations, the push and pull of dreams that do not unfold the way you imagined. Do not let that harden you. Do not let it convince you that to be strong, you must never bend. True strength, my dear one, is knowing when to adjust, when to let go of what no longer fits, when to trust that even if you must take a step back, it does not mean you have lost your way. Some will tell you that to endure means to hold on tighter, to fight with all your might, to never yield. But I tell you, there is power in flexibility, in adaptation, in the graceful art of resilience. The strongest souls are not the ones who never waver, but the ones who learn to move with the winds of change. The strongest souls are those who understand that life is not a battle to be fought, but a dance to be learned. And so when the world shifts beneath your feet, when your plans unravel, when the road turns in ways you never expected, do not fear. Do not stiffen yourself against the flow of life. Take a breath. Find your balance. Trust that even as things change, you are not lost. You are growing, you are becoming, you are learning the sacred art of resilience. The winds will come, my love. The storms will howl. But if you learn to bend, if you learn to move with grace instead of resistance, you will find yourself still standing when the storm has passed. Not broken, not defeated, but stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than ever before. My dear ones, listen closely. There will be moments when sorrow knocks on your door, when pain sits beside you like an unwelcome guest, refusing to leave. It will try to settle in your bones, whisper to you in the quiet hours, make a home in the deepest corners of your heart. And you may begin to believe that this pain, this ache, this heaviness is now a part of you, something you must carry forever. But hear me well, pain is a visitor, not a permanent resident. It comes, it lingers, it teaches, but it is not meant to stay. Oh, I know how it feels when pain arrives. It does not knock gently. It crashes through like a storm, uninvited and unyielding. It takes up space in your spirit, colors your days in shades of sorrow. It presses on your chest, makes it hard to breathe, hard to hope, hard to believe that joy will ever return. It is loud, it is consuming. It tells you that this is all there is, that this is all there will ever be. But pain is a liar, and you, my dear one, are not its prisoner. Do not give pain a home within you. Do not dress it in comfort. Do not feed it with your thoughts. Do not tuck it in at night like it belongs. Let it visit if it must. Let it teach you what it came to teach. But then, my love, you must show it the door. You must remind it that you are not a place for suffering to settle. You see, resilient people understand this. They know that pain is a season, not a sentence. They feel the weight of loss, of disappointment, of heartbreak, but they do not let it define them. They do not let it become their name, their story, their forever. They let it move through them, let it shape them, let it make them wiser, but they do not let it stay, and you must do the same. You must gather your strength, even when you feel you have none left. You must wake up each morning and choose not to let pain be the ruler of your life. It will not disappear in a day, no. It will not vanish like smoke, but with time, with love, with patience, it will loosen its grip, it will fade. And one day, you will wake up and realize that the heaviness has lifted, that the storm has passed, that the wound has closed. You are not your pain. You are not your sorrow. You are not the sum of your struggles. You are something far greater, something stronger, something deeper, something radiant and pain may have visited you, but it does not own you. It never has, and it never will. So when pain arrives, do not fear it. Do not run from it. Face it. Learn from it. Let it do its work. But then, my dear one, you must release it. You must make room for joy, for light, for the beauty that is waiting just beyond the sorrow. Because life, my love, is too vast, too rich, too filled with wonder to be lived as a home for pain. Let it pass through, but do not let it stay. My dear ones, hear me now. Life will push you down. That is a truth no one can escape. You will stumble. You will fall. There will be days when the weight of the world feels too much, when your knees hit the ground, when you feel like you cannot rise again. And in those moments, you will be tempted to believe that falling is failing, that stumbling is weakness, that being knocked down means you are not strong enough. But listen closely. True strength is not in never falling. True strength is in rising every single time you do. You see, the world has a way of making us believe that resilience means never breaking, never bending, never struggling. But my love, that is not the truth. The strongest people are not the ones who have never been knocked down. No, the strongest people are the ones who have been bruised by life, who have known sorrow, who have felt the sting of disappointment and the ache of loss, but who refuse to stay down. Oh, I know what it feels like to fall. I know the way the ground feels beneath you, cold and unforgiving. I know the way despair tries to creep into your spirit, whispering that you should stay there. That rising is too hard, too painful, too exhausting. I know how tempting it is to believe that maybe this time you just don't have the strength to get back up. But hear me now, you do. You have risen before. You have fought through storms that tried to drown you. You have walked through fires that threatened to consume you. And here you are, still breathing, still standing, still moving forward, even when the road is rough. That, my dear one, is the proof of your strength. Not that you never fell, but that you never stayed down. Think of the greatest souls the world has known. Were they untouched by hardship? Did they live lives of ease, never knowing struggle? No, my love. They too have fallen, have known failure, have been brought to their knees, but they did not let their falls define them. They did not let their pain be their ending. They rose. And you must do the same. It does not matter how many times you fall. It does not matter how long it takes you to rise. It only matters that you do. That you choose to stand even when your legs are shaking, that you choose to keep going even when the road ahead is unclear, that you choose to believe in yourself even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. There is no shame in falling, my love. There is no shame in struggle, in hardship, in moments of doubt. The only shame would be in believing that the fall is where your story ends. But your story is not over. You have more to do, more to see, more to become. The ground is no place for you to stay. Rise, my dear one, rise again and again and again, because that is who you are. That is who you have always been. My dear ones, listen to me now. Life will hand you hardships, trials that weigh heavy on your spirit, moments that threaten to steal the light from your eyes. There will be days when the burdens feel too much, when the road ahead seems endless, when sorrow sits beside you like an old companion. And in those moments, it will be easy, so easy, to believe that there is nothing left to hold on to. But hear me well, my love. Gratitude is the silent armor of the resilient. Wear it daily, and no sorrow can pierce you. Oh, I know how the world works. It teaches us to count our troubles, to measure our struggles, to keep a record of every wound we have ever suffered. But what if, my love, you learned to count your joys instead? What if you woke up each morning and before the weight of the day settled on your shoulders, you whispered, thank you? Not because life is perfect, Not because everything is easy, but because even in the midst of struggle, there is still something to be grateful for. The resilient ones understand this. They know that life is not always kind, that pain is an unwelcome visitor that comes and goes. But they also know that even in the darkest moments, there is light to be found. They know that gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a choice, a practice, a way of seeing the world that transforms everything. You see, gratitude is not about ignoring your pain. It is not about pretending that life has not hurt you, that you have not known sorrow. No, my love. Gratitude is about remembering that even in the midst of all that, there is still beauty. There is still love. There is still something worth holding on to. Think of the sun that rises each morning, painting the sky in gold and crimson. Think of the laughter of a child, the sound of rain against the window, the warmth of a hand in yours. Think of the moments of kindness, the small mercies, the quiet joys that come even in the hardest of times. These are the things that keep us going. These are the things that remind us why we rise, why we fight, why we endure. And so, my dear one, when the days are heavy, when sorrow knocks on your door, do not let it take everything from you. Hold on to gratitude like a shield, like a light in the darkness. Find one thing, just one, to be thankful for, and let that be your anchor, because when you choose gratitude, you choose to see beyond your pain. You choose to believe that joy is still possible, that hope is still alive, that life, even in its struggles, is still worth living. Gratitude, my love, is the song of the unbreakable. Sing it daily and no storm will silence you. My dear ones, listen to me now. Life will try to define you by what you have endured. It will try to pin labels on you, to write your story in ink made from your struggles. People will look at you and see only the weight you have carried, the battles you have fought, the wounds you have gathered along the way. And if you are not careful, you will start to believe that this is who you are, what has happened to you, what has hurt you, what has tried to break you. But hear me well, my love, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. Oh, I know how the past can cling to you, how pain can wrap itself around your soul like a second skin. I know how easy it is to believe that your scars are the only things that tell your story. But you must understand this. Your past is a chapter, not the whole book. Your pain is a lesson, not a life sentence. You have the power, even now, to decide who you will be. The resilient ones, the ones who rise even when the world has tried to keep them down, they know this truth. They have walked through fire. Yes, my dear ones, hear me now. Life will not always be kind. It will test you, stretch you, place burdens on your back that feel too heavy to bear. There will be moments when you look at your reflection and see nothing but the weight of what you have endured. The world will tell you that your struggles are scars, that your wounds are reminders of how life has hurt you. But listen to me, my love. Resilience is not just endurance. It is not just surviving. It is the art of turning wounds into wisdom and trials into triumphs. Oh, I know the weight of suffering. I know how pain tries to root itself in your soul, how it clings to you like a shadow, whispering that you are broken, that you are nothing more than the things that have hurt you. But I also know this. Pain is a teacher, not a jailer. If you let it, it will shape you, refine you, make you wiser, stronger, more unshakable than before. The choice, my dear one, is always yours. Will you let your wounds define you, or will you let them teach you? The strongest people you will ever meet are not the ones who have never suffered. No, my love. They are the ones who have walked through fire and come out glowing. They are the ones who have learned to take their pain and shape it into something greater. They do not just survive, they transform. They do not just endure, they grow. You must do the same. You must take every hardship, every heartbreak, every sorrow, and turn it into something meaningful. Let it make you kinder. Let it make you wiser. Let it teach you the lessons only struggle can teach. Because, my dear one, your trials are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your strength. And when you have risen, when you have taken your wounds and turned them into wisdom, do not forget to reach back for others. Because resilience is not just about rising alone. It is about lifting others with you. It is about using your story, your wisdom, your triumph to light the way for someone else. So do not fear your struggles, my love. Do not see your wounds as weaknesses. They are the very proof of your strength, the very evidence of your resilience. And when the world looks at you and wonders how you survive, you will smile. Because you did not just survive, you became. You transformed, you triumphed. If you became anchored in your trials and you triumphed, you triumphed. Ah, my dear ones, you have listened, you have felt, and now you must carry these words with you as you walk forward. Life will test you, it always does, but you are stronger than you know, wiser than you believe, and more resilient than any storm that dares to shake you. Remember, it is not about never falling, never hurting, never struggling. It is about rising, about bending without breaking, about learning to see beyond pain and finding the light that still shines within you. Hold on to gratitude like a shield. Let your past be a lesson, not a chain. Take every wound and turn it into wisdom. And above all, never forget that you are not what has happened to you. You are what you choose to become. So go forward, my dear ones, with your head high and your spirit unshaken. The road may not always be easy, but you have everything within you to walk it with grace, with courage, with resilience. And when life challenges you again, as it surely will, you will smile, not because the journey is effortless, but because you now know the truth. You were built to rise. Good luck, my dear ones. May your path be filled with strength, with wisdom, with an unshakable belief in yourself, and most of all, thank you for listening, for feeling, for carrying this message into the world.